Hey everyone, and welcome to the 38th episode of We're All in the Same Boat. I'm your host, Luke Roxwold, and today I'm here with Shayne.
Howdy, howdy.
Michael.
Hey, I'm eating Girl Scout cookies.
Wait, which ones?
Thin Mints.
And
I had
Nick.
some moms, they're gone now.
I am not a Thin Mints fan.
Sorry, hold up. And Nick.
Yeah, can we talk
Say
about
hi.
that?
I'm not a Thin Mints fan.
I
Just saying.
gotta introduce people so people know who you are. And Nick for the third time. Say hi.
What? They know who I am, and I don't like Thin Mints.
Thin Mints
Yeah.
are, I think that the best ones are Samoas.
Yes, thank you, Luke. Finally, something we agree
Yes!
I accidentally got Samoas,
the
and I
first
returned
time!
them to get Thin Mints.
on. No, Thin Mints are overrated. They are.
Yeah, they really
They're
are.
just they seem
No,
like
this is
Thin Mints seem like the
objective.
cookies you'd get at Walmart.
Yes.
Girl Scout cookies are
No,
overrated
not even
in
Walmart,
general,
Dollar
but Thin
Tree.
Mints are good. Girl
You
Scout
can get Thin Mints at Dollar Tree.
and they're delicious.
Samoas
It's fine.
are top, and they're the only Girl Scout cookies I've ever bought in my life.
Yeah.
Rightly
Samoas
so.
are the best ones.
Money well spent right there. Yeah.
Thank
Do you
you.
agree? Wait,
I like
Nick, do
Thin
you
Mints.
agree?
I don't care what you think.
And
Yeah,
I'm actually
Samoas are the
frustrated.
greatest Girl Scout
Don't
cookies.
Samoas have coconut on them?
Yes,
Yeah,
they
dude.
do.
That's disgusting.
No, but they're
No,
good.
Dude,
it's
you'll get over it.
fantastic.
Coconut, though.
Wait, can I
It's
say
good
something
I don't want
about?
I
wait.
shouldn't have to get over the food
It's-
that I'm eating to enjoy the food that I'm eating.
It's just the texture, dude. That's all. You
If
gotta
can
get over the
just-
texture.
If you can just get past the taste, it's, it's
I
amazing.
need
That's
to
what everyone says
express-
about alcohol. If you drink enough of it, you'll eventually won't taste it anymore.
Well,
Then
it's
you'll like
that's
it.
That's
also
I've been there.
totally different. That's a totally different. Wait, can I express my
That's
frustration?
exactly what an
with Girl Scout
alcoholic
Yes.
would say.
Yes.
So, just as a reminder for everyone, because I don't say this every single podcast. So I work with kids, right? And I don't understand how either not one of these kids that I work with is a Girl Scout, or no one has come up to me and said, "Mr. Shayne, do you want to buy cookies?" And I'm offended.
He's just waiting for someone to ask him. Like,
I
"Please,
really
let's get
am. I'm
some-
like, I don't
sell me some
understand.
cookies."
My wallet is prepared. I have a pen.
It's like,
Like,
at
and
all
no one has
times.
asked me.
At all times, he has a quick release on his pocket to shoot his wallet out. Just wait, and he spent weeks building it just for the sake, or just for that time when girls
Wait.
ask him.
Do
Yeah,
those
I want
exist?
more
I would
Samoas.
love that.
And be like,
Well,
"Pafum!"
it's one of a kind.
Do you remember
Batman.
do you remember in Star Wars 6 where R2 has the lightsaber inside of him and he like
No.
it like
He shoots it to
opens
Luke.
and it goes
Yeah.
What if you had like a wallet that could do that? You like open your wallet, it's like
Speaking of Star Wars, that Solo trailer or whatever, that was
looks
bad.
terrible. It's
was
so bad.
So bad.
Yeah,
I
That
don't
looked
know
really
what's
bad.
wrong with it.
Dude, nobody.
Yeah.
It's because nobody wants it. We all want an
So
Obi-Wan Kenobi
bad.
movie.
Yeah,
We don't
no
want
one
a Han
cares.
Solo movie.
Yeah.
So we
I've never
want
wanted
an
a Han Solo
Obi-Wan.
movie.
Oh,
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. Wait, I feel like we kind of got that with the prequels.
No.
What else happens to him?
I don't
Dude,
even
he's
care though.
Been
That's the
a
thing.
Padawan the whole time, and like the Clone Wars, so much goes on. Like, there's so much you could do about Obi-Wan. You could even like track him like being in hiding after Episode 3, like 50 years.
Kenobi.
I'm kind of done with the prequels though. I don't know. I don't know if I can do it again.
It's not.
Anything-
Well, it wouldn't be. They're gonna do prequels anyway. That's their plan.
I know that's
Like-
why I'm so against this Solo movie. I'm just not interested. in
we
this
all
at all.
agree. We all agree that it doesn't look good.
Yeah, it
He's focusing
really
on
does not.
non-lightsaber
Yes.
characters. That's the problem.
That's true
Like,
too.
no one, like, I don't watch Star Wars for guns.
And a lot of people
So uncivilized.
really are. A lot of people are into that like gimmicky, like the lightsaber fights and the
Yes, we all want lightsabers.
all the
That's what
cheesy
we
stuff.
come
All the
for.
cheesy stuff though. That's the
That's
thing.
what
I think
we
a lot of
come
Star
for.
Wars fans actually come for. Yeah. So I don't know.
It's weird
This-
because like I
Lightsabers
watched
are the main reason why I like Star Wars.
Luke's
Yeah, it's
first
true.
YouTube video was of him doing a lightsaber battle. We come for the lightsabers, and that's
true.
all.
And
that,
those
that was
videos,
his
dude,
top viewed video of all time.
Dude, see the thing is too is yeah, everyone likes lightsabers and I think that when I watched the trailer, I didn't see it at the Super Bowl, which I think is when it debuted.
Oh, I didn't see
But
it either.
I watched it later, and I
Oh,
walked
yeah.
away from it going like, that was the most original Star Wars trailer that they've had so far, and I hate it.
Yeah, you're right.
like,
there was a lot of
didn't like
stuff
it
that I've never seen
all.
before, and I didn't like it. Yeah.
Well, like the editing and the music,
it was
and
very
it was just like,
off-brand.
but I didn't like it. It felt
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't like the main guy irritates me.
He has a
The-
big head.
The director left the original director left the movie because he was such a bad actor. The main guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, I
he's
can
a
totally see that.
He's a horrible actor.
Why did
So
they cast him? Was he in something else?
No,
I have no idea.
They were trying to probably birth a star, and they failed.
Like, hey,
Yeah.
let's make someone new, and it's like, okay, well, we made a mistake here. Donald Glover. Oh, but okay. There's two things I like
he does
about
look just like
Yeah,
a
they
young
ha- they
Lando.
have
Donald
they have
Glover
some-
looks great as Lando, and then
Yeah, he does look good.
I'm
Contract-
kind
He's
of
the
a
only. He's the
huge-
only part I was excited about.
contractual.
Yeah, he looked really good, and I'm also kind of a big
Contractual
fan of
Yeah,
what's
he
her
only
name?
did that movie because of a contract.
What's,
yeah, that's how
what's the
everyone does
girl's
movies.
name? Amelia Clark. Is that
Leia?
it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I kind of like her.
she's cute.
I'd watch it for her, maybe once.
She's in something else that I wasn't very excited about, also, but I can't remember.
Game
what
of
it was.
Thrones.
No,
She
she was great in that. Oh yeah, Terminator Genesis. I was not
I didn't
excited
see
about
it.
that, and I was just like, why? It was just
Okay,
a big why.
Hold on.
Anyway,
Well, let's pause for a second. So I'm gonna look this guy up. He's third on the list in the cast.
Who is?
Aldrin.
Heinrich,
Buzz Aldrin?
Yeah.
Buzz
So
Aldrin.
so he was in
Tell us his resume, his extensive
Hail
resume.
Caesar. I didn't see it, but that's Coen Brothers. I don't know what any of these movies are.
I can't even pronounce his last name. That's how.
Want to know why? Because they're all.
I don't even
student
want. I don't
films.
even care. Yeah, I don't even care.
Yeah. I don't
What?
know. Yeah. I don't
Woody
know.
Harrelson's in it, and now you like Woody Harrelson. Ever?
Yeah, he's good.
My brother-in-law used to work for Woody Harrelson.
Really?
Yeah, he was his assistant.
Oh, sweet.
What?
Yeah, we went on his bus when he was doing Hunger Games: Catching Fire in Atlanta.
Oh, I want to get him on the podcast. Can we?
Oh.
It's all
That'd be
him.
awesome.
Woody.
Yeah.
I'd have a lot of questions for him.
Yeah, no, he's an interesting guy.
Yeah,
Just be like, what's it like? What did you have to get coffee? Did you have to?
Catching Fire is my favorite Hunger Games movie.
Yeah, that's a good
All
one.
the behind the scenes stuff.
Dude,
But, like, what's it-
Jennifer Lawrence is just as hot in person. Just know
I
that.
believe it. I believe it.
She's just as beautiful in person.
Wait, you met her? Wait, what? You know
Did you meet
Jennifer
her,
Lawrence?
Nick?
Oh, I saw her on set, like when she was filming.
Oh, okay. Dude,
Yeah.
you were like almost Jennifer Lawrence's friend.
Basically,
You know what? Yes, I am.
You know her better than we do.
I saw her once film a scene.
I saw her act.
Dude, we should
Yeah.
That
like,
sounds like
hey,
an
remember that time
interesting-
I saw you act one time? We should.
Yeah,
Yeah, she'd be like, what?
I would have loved to. Well, my brother-in-law was mostly friends with Josh Hutcherson and
nice.
and Woody, and they all hung out.
He
a
was
lot.
Peter, right?
I know
Yeah.
some women that love that man.
My wife
Yeah,
included.
same.
My wife was like, I really want to meet him.
And you're like, no.
Ryan hooked that up. Yeah, his name's
So
Ryan.
how did you end up seeing her act? What's the story behind that? Were you just
So-
walking and she was just acting?
He was just creeping on
She was
set.
she was just in your house acting.
We were-
like, oh, there she is.
So we were in Atlanta. This was the weekend that I asked Sarah's parents if I could marry her,
Hey.
and so it was a very important weekend. And I think I was meeting Ryan at the same time for the first time, actually. So that was a unique experience. But
Is Ryan?
Ryan is
Brother
my
Gosling?
brother-in-law. Yeah,
Oh, just
Okay.
kidding.
sorry.
Ryan Gosling? Is he in the
And
Hunger
so
Hold up. Let's keep going.
I meet Ryan. Excuse me. And then he takes us on set as he wants to give a tour to not only us, Sarah and I, but to his parents, because we were going with Sarah's parents, obviously, since they were there that weekend. And,
So nice.
we ran into Stanley Tucci.
course.
He's
Yes.
my height. He's 5'9". He's a short guy.
Who's Stanley
And-
Tucci?
He's the one with the crazy hair.
The host guy. Of
The host,
I
yeah.
thought that was Eugene Levy this whole time.
No.
They both
I
have
do
the eyebrows.
see that, though.
It's so
Yeah.
funny that I never thought someone would explain who Stanley Tucci is by saying something about hair.
Yeah.
Because I don't think
Because
I've
he's
ever
bald?
seen him.
I don't think I know who
Yeah,
he
he's
is now
bald.
that I
Yeah,
think
he's
about
bald
it.
in real
Because
life.
I just thought he was Eugene Levy this whole time, so I don't know who I think Eugene Levy is now. I don't know any celebrities.
There's
Anyway.
a window breaking sound.
Yeah,
What?
he's an interesting actor. But anyway, and then we just walked into the set. It was like quiet on the set, so we had to like walk in slowly. and they were filming like one of the scenes with like the big talk show stage. So that set had all the lights on it, and it's basically this giant room that goes on forever, and it's full of all these different sets and stuff like that. And we were just walking through and seeing all the sets, like for the train and for stadiums and things like that. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then, the scene that we stumbled on was with Jennifer Lawrence, and she was wearing like a really big costume and stuff like that. And we were just like, wow, she looks the exact same as she does everywhere we've seen her. So beautiful woman.
It's pretty casual too. How it's like
an amazing
we walked
experience.
on set and it just happened to be
Totally
Jennifer
envious
Lawrence.
right now.
You're like, man, I just asked this other girl's parents if I could marry her, but now it's Jennifer Lawrence. I don't know what to do.
Hey, Jen. How's it going, Jen?
Hey, just
Do
so
I know you?
You
You're
have about
to.
3 weeks to make a decision, Jennifer.
It was really funny too because you kind of started it as like, yeah, so I went to ask my girlfriend's parents if I could marry her and saw Jennifer Lawrence. It was a pretty important weekend.
That sounds
because I
like
saw Jennifer Lawrence.
That sounds like a pretty.
That's the
great-
main-
She was really hot in person, and I asked
She
my
was-
girlfriend if I could marry.
I mean, what gets
Her
better
parents,
than that?
but-
Well, she was
I'm
actually
getting gay
invited.
now.
She was invited to our wedding.
What?
Jennifer
So yeah, Ryan was gonna
What?
bring Jennifer Lawrence to the wedding, and he showed me the text like she was down to do it.
That's
Dude,
awesome.
sure, what?
That's so
She-
cool.
And
But she didn't.
She was lying.
Yeah,
She was
no,
probably
no.
busy.
Sarah said no. Sarah said no.
What? This
Yeah.
is you're
I mean,
no, you're
obviously.
okay.
I
hold
said
on,
no
hold
too.
on.
No,
we
Jennifer
were on
Lawrence
agreement.
took
So
all
hold
the
on, hold on.
attention.
Okay, either she was lying, but I don't think that's the case either. I think you're lying.
No,
I'm not lying.
I feel like this is
Jennifer
all
Lawrence
a
would
lie.
I
be-
will show
I
you
wouldn't
the
want
text
Jennifer
messages.
Lawrence at my
How
wedding,
am I
to be
supposed
honest.
to know? I don't know
Luke.
her number. How you
Luke.
could be anybody?
Luke,
How am I supposed to know it's
All
her
right, write this
number?
down, Luke. Write this down.
Jennifer Lawrence would have took all the attention away, and that's what it said.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Very
the
simple.
fact that she said she would come is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Was your wedding? Was it in Virginia?
Yes, it was in Williamsburg, and no, you were not invited, Luke. In case
I
anyone was wondering.
Dang, Jennifer Lawrence got
I know,
invited,
actually,
but
yeah.
not Luke.
know. But hey, guess what?
He's gotta
No,
get higher
actually,
up
here's
in
the thing.
in
Here's the
movie
thing.
game first.
Jennifer Lawrence was invited, and they said no. I wasn't invited at all, so I feel like I'm a step above Jennifer Lawrence there because I wasn't turned down.
Yeah, you
That's
did
true.
not get turned down.
Like she was like, "Hey,
That's
can
true.
we bring
True.
Jennifer Lawrence?" They were like, "No." Not at
just
Yeah,
all.
maybe
weren't
I'm not
even
even.
a thought.
Maybe I'm not even
Just
down
kidding.
to go.
Kidding.
See, you know what I mean?
They didn't even think about asking Luke. That's better though.
That's right.
That's
there's
always
no
funny.
rejection.
Like when you kind of know somebody. Like I don't know how your friendship was back then, but you kind of know somebody and like they get married and you're like you're kind of bummed you didn't get invited to their wedding, but also you can't blame them. Like, well, I wouldn't invite them to my wedding, so it's I guess it's fine.
That's right.
You still feel a
It's
little
like-
bit sad.
You're
Well,
like,
what's interesting is I've had that happen a few times, but then also I ended up either getting invited to their wedding, or like I regret not inviting them basically,
Right.
because like
There's
oh my
people
gosh, you're
that I
so
know-
cool.
There's people that I know that I've been to their wedding, and I wouldn't invite them to my wedding.
I had a friend who
Well-
apparently they thought that they invited me to their wedding. Like I was talking to one of them after,
Uh-huh.
and they were
That's what
like,
they all say.
well, she was like, yeah, like weren't you there? I was like, no. I was like, why weren't you there? I was like, I wasn't invited. She's like, what? So like I was like driving with her at like 3 a.m. to get tacos.
They
Like we
act
were
all shocked.
close.
I'm like, no, you didn't invite me.
That's what they always
It's okay,
say.
though.
I guess so.
Michael.
So.
Okay, I would like
I've only been
to
weddings, though.
Move on.
into the main agenda for today. So, I
Agenda. Jeez.
talked to
Glad to keep it
everybody
pretty professional.
about doing this podcast last week, but I didn't get a chance to see the movie that we're going to talk about. And from the title of this podcast, you know what that movie is: Black Panther. And we all rushed to see it. I saw it
Oh.
yesterday, and we're going to jump into this movie and talk about our thoughts. And we're going to go everywhere.
I thought
movie,
we were
outside the
supposed
movie and
to
everything.
see
Yay.
I thought we were supposed to see the new Jumanji movie. That's what I saw.
Shut up, Shane.
I mix those two up all the time.
Because
I'd be down to see that, though.
There's the jungle.
At the theater. I saw
It's true.
Dwayne Johnson and Chris. I just assumed. So I don't know.
It's fair. They're easy to mix those
I
movies
guess
up
I'll
to
stay
the
out of
jungle.
this one.
Shane's like, let me see the movie with a black guy and there's like trees.
That's right.
There's, like,
They're
a
basically the
black-
same movie, guys.
Same thing, really.
Yeah.
Classics, both of them.
Also, full disclosure, I'm still eating Thin Mints.
Also,
You didn't need to mention
you're
that.
Kicked off the podcast.
That's right. We started off talking about this movie, and it started on a very bad
Yes.
note.
Okay. Yeah, but we're talking about Black Panther.
Yes.
So,
Go!
All right, Black Panther. It was good.
Overall, what did we think?
I liked it. It was really good.
I liked it too.
Shayne
So,
podcast.
I mean,
Plugs.
so okay.
We're just
so
waiting for the other person.
Yeah, I'm just like
No.
Shade.
No, this all really like made. I was very thrown when we were gonna talk about this because I wanted to see the movie again before I said any real opinion
Right.
about it because I wanted to see it outside of hype, and so I've only seen it once, but whatever. I thought it was. I mean, I liked it. I enjoyed it in terms of like it's cultural presence or whatever. But as a film itself, there was a lot of. I thought there was not a conflicting storyline, but I felt there was almost two storylines, and I kind of wish we had separated them. Like I wish there was more kill.
By the way, spoilers
stuff.
ahead.
Yes.
Oh, I mean potentially.
If you haven't
Whatever
seen the
you
movie
consider a
yet,
spoiler.
it's
Honestly,
probably gonna, we're
if you
probably gonna
haven't seen
spoil
it,
it.
if you haven't seen the movie yet, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
But
You're apparently in the minority
Well,
at this point.
If you haven't seen it, then just like pause the episode now and then come back listen to it after you've seen it.
Or don't,
Yeah.
because it's not like the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I just wish there was more Killmonger stuff. I just have very specific character things that kind of bothered me a little bit, but
Sorry.
overall, though, I enjoyed it. It was good.
All right, Luke, what do you think?
I thought it was a good movie. I was talking to people about how I don't know that I trust Rotten Tomatoes anymore, though, because
Yeah.
let me look at it for a second. Rotten
It's got like
Tomatoes.
a 97 or something.
Yeah, it's like an
I
insane
already
number.
explained to you, Luke, how this one's
It's a
gonna work, though.
97%
Yes,
on Rotten
and I
Tomatoes
told
right
you,
now.
Luke.
And Shane, we're on the
No.
podcast now.
I know, and I told you.
I have to
that-
repeat a few things. Let me get
Go
this out,
ahead,
and then I'll
repeat it. Go
let
ahead,
you.
go
Okay,
ahead.
so I'm saying that like I'm not really trusting Rotten Tomatoes. I used to trust them a lot because like that's the same rating as like The Dark Knight, and like this movie is nowhere close to being that good. You know, I would give this movie, so Dark Knight I would give like a 95, 98 because I think it's a really unbelievably solid movie. And this movie I would give like a 70, 80. So it's like pretty good. It's like really solid. Everything's good about it, but it's not. I mean, it's not that good.
Well, for what it's worth, it's actually higher than The Dark Knight if you look at the tomato meter. So,
Is it really?
yeah.
The
That's
tomato meter.
outrageous.
However, the audience score is much different. So the audience
Yeah.
score for Dark Knight is 94%. Black Panther is 79%. So
Black
there
Panther is not.
Interesting.
I don't think. See, Black Panther.
what's weird is I think it's in between those two.
It is not better than Iron Man.
That's a
And it
bold
is-
claim.
I don't.
It is not.
I don't know.
The first one, the first Iron Man.
I don't.
That's a
think-
great movie, though.
There's
That's
also
the
really
thing.
different kind of movies.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
true.
gonna say I don't think you can really compare. I was gonna say that Black Panther is not. It wasn't the typical, at least from what I've seen from Marvel movies. It wasn't the typical like Marvel movie. Like there was a lot less action than what I thought going into it. And I was actually pleasantly pleased by that. But yeah, so I don't think you can really compare too much.
Yeah, they were definitely made for different purposes.
Yeah,
We can, I do know that a lot of, at the top of the pyramid of ideas for this movie, politics was at the top, the tippy
Yeah.
top, and everything kind of trickled down from that. So that was the foundation
Mhm.
was based around politics, and then the movie just kind of was birthed out of that. And,
Isn't the comics pretty political too? I think I heard that somewhere.
yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Well, yeah.
They're not
I don't know.
not as I
Not
don't,
as-
I don't think it's
not
as
as much as this
deep,
movie.
but it's exactly.
But it definitely touched on
Honestly,
racial political stuff because Marvel
It was
stuff always does.
1960s.
It went with the
I mean,
times of what was going on.
Yeah, it was 1960s when they first came out with Black Panther, or maybe 1970s. But, yeah, two white guys made Black Panther. Just a just a reminder. I'm just kidding.
Well, they did.
Actually, I don't know if I think that's true though.
No, yeah, it is. Stan Lee and
Yeah.
whoever he wrote stuff with.
Jack Kirby. Yeah.
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 But-
let's. I want to try and figure
get
out
into
a
it.
way to keep this organized, and I haven't figured that out exactly.
Well, I just have
but-
one really like important question I want to ask Shayne.
Okay.
It's kind of like it kind of goes like right into like the kind of like a controversial discussion. Not controversial. I know you hate that, Luke, but
Okay.
I'm not being
Political.
funny.
I don't. Just to say it, I don't hate controversial subjects. We keep saying that. That's not true.
I just like joking on you.
I still stand by the subjects I've turned down from you guys because
Luke loves
I still think I
controversy.
should have done that.
But he loves to do it in a way that's
I've turned
smart.
down topics on this podcast, and I still stand by the topics that I turned down.
That's fun. All right, so Shayne, I'm not being jokey,
Okay.
but like you see like you saw lots of black people posting about how important this movie was, and they're getting super hype and stuff,
Yes.
and like feeling like empowered
I'm
after
also
seeing how
one of those
awesome
people.
Wakanda is. Like when you saw the movie, did you feel empowered as a person? I'm not joking at all. Like I'm just
I'm
asking.
actually genuinely interested in your answer, Shayne.
Well, okay, I didn't feel empowered as a person, but I mean, yeah, I felt more hyped in my blackness. Yes.
People at home, yeah, Shayne's black by the way.
Right.
yeah, I've
Elephant in the room.
yeah. I mean, I'm not one of those people that are saying hashtag Wakanda forever and then they're changing their name to Wakanda and then their name, and so I'm not one of those people. I'm not that hyped, but yeah.
I think there's like
Cool.
people like that for every movie though. Like I was just thinking about that the other day. Just like if I think about Star Trek or Star Wars.
Yeah.
Everyone
This
has
feels very
This is hype for-
similar.
This is hype for
Very-
different reasons
they're
though.
very
A lot of people felt like
cult
a lot of people felt like they were finally represented like in really big blockbuster movies, which I get that.
I will say though about the people being hype, and I don't take this is not, I'm not taking anything against them. Be hype, yes, great, good for you.
Be hype.
I will say though it was nice to see specifically the women in the movie be very natural and very empowered and very respected. I thought that was very nice because that's definitely not something you see typically in films portrayed of black women. So that was nice. And then to I don't know. There was a lot of very I don't know what else to call them besides very I don't even say black culture, but just very cultural related jokes that I thought were very funny, like about when the girl was wearing a wig and she was talking about how she had to wear a wig. I thought that was funny. They made a reference to like, Willow Smith's "Whip My Hair," which was hilarious. Then they had the "What are those?" with the shoes that I thought was.
I thought that was funny. I was like, that's like a really old joke. I was like, seriously, what are those? It's like
I do have a
2013.
note. I do have a note
Very
about that line, but we'll get to that
relevant.
later.
Well, can I just say that the humor fell flat for me in this movie?
I wanted
it
to
was-
die when they
and I-
said that.
And
I
yeah,
hated-
I think
I
it was
hated
more
that part
so.
much.
Seriously.
I
That's
felt like it was
that's
cheesy
when,
humor versus good humor.
That's like
you know
when
what I
Hillary
mean?
Clinton was like, "Pokemon Go to the polls." It was on that level. I was like, dude.
I think that was her character because she even had another line where she said, "Guess what I named them?" And she said sneakers because, and then she said, "You know what? Never mind." Because I think
that was
funny joke.
kind
I
of funny.
like
The
that
sneakers
it's a
part was
very
kind of funny.
specific
But
character.
when
Yeah.
she said what are
choice, though.
those, I just hated everything.
I took it as a character choice.
I thought that was
Yeah.
so.
That's- I mean, it's
annoying.
fine.
I'm too
It's just
memed out.
But
Maybe it was just
Well,
maybe
one thing
that's
I was
why.
gonna say real quick is I really appreciated how like a lot of times in movies, for instance Wonder Woman, when they try to like empower one group, they make everyone else look stupid in the movie. Like in Wonder Woman, all the guys are kind of dumb and like, oh, she's a woman, she can't do nothing. And then she's like, ha, I'm the best woman there is. Whatcha?
Yeah.
But like in Black Panther, they didn't like make everyone else in the movie look really stupid or anything. They just like showed the strength of this nation and their people, and they like everyone else was still awesome. Like they didn't make the only white guy in the movie like a stupid idiot who can't do anything. He was still like a super skilled pilot and like
Oh, he
was heroic
he
and
saved the
stuff.
day.
yeah, and he was hilarious. And he was funny and cool. He wasn't like
Yeah.
True.
Hearing Martin Freeman with an American accent really messed me up a little bit because it threw me off so much. I was like, "What?"
Oh yeah, it is
He's not
kind of
British.
shocking at first. 'Cause he
and
did pretty well.
It was okay, but it felt like
Yeah.
to me it felt almost too American. Like it was like so obvious. Like I'm an American. Let's go
Oh, oh
go
well,
hunting. You know.
well,
He's
from-
definitely like the token white guy.
It was so fine.
He's
It was
definitely
so fine.
meant to be.
It was
Well,
so
from
fine.
someone
It just threw me off
Like the
because it was
sidekick.
weird. You know.
I'll say it. Well, from
Yeah.
someone who's never heard him speak, I didn't even think.
Wait, really?
thought
You
he
never
said-
saw
yeah.
like The
No.
Hobbit or anything?
No,
Oh.
I want to, but I haven't.
It's not
All
good.
right.
Don't do it.
It's on my
It's
list
okay.
of things to
Hey,
see.
the first two are good movies.
The only one I like is the third one.
The third one's the worst.
That's the worst
the
one,
third
Mike.
one is
Shut up.
the worst Lord of the Rings movie.
Because in the third one, at least they don't pretend to be still being Lord of the Rings. The first two, they're like, oh yeah, this is the Hobbit. It's nothing to do with the book.
It was still Lord
The
of the
White
Rings.
Orc is not in the book. The White Orc is like literally
Oh
referenced.
my god.
Yeah,
Who cares?
we're not here
there's
to
a
talk
lot.
about
I
it.
care.
That
It's a
doesn't even
story.
change. That
It
doesn't
changed the
even
whole
change-
story. Yes, it
No,
does.
doesn't
Have you read
change
The Hobbit,
story
dude?
that
I've
much.
read The Hobbit
It
4
doesn't change
times,
the
man.
story that much.
Luke, have you read The
Part
Hobbit?
in Black Panther.
Yes.
It changed.
No, not really.
This is
But
the
I know
wrong
the
argument.
story.
Four
though.
times.
I've never.
It changes the story, Luke.
Hold
I
on.
don't remember
I've never.
The
Hold
Hobbit
on.
being a Marvel movie.
You have to know that there's a
wasn't.
difference between books and movies. So like the book is never going to be exactly like the movie.
Listen,
And when he's like,
listen,
oh,
listen.
they added
White
a
Orc
bad character.
was
Who
not.
cares?
They added a main bad character. The White Orc wasn't
So
even in the
what?
book. The White Orc was
Who
in
cares?
another book that was
Didn't
like
ruin
just
the
random
story.
Tolkien lore. Radagast
Films
also
are
wasn't
not
in the book.
books.
He was just mentioned.
This is
and
this is a great
Films are
discussion.
not
where was
books.
Tom Bombadil?
Films are not books.
He's not everywhere. He's not anywhere.
Films are not books.
I'm sorry. I'm still upset about that.
People already complained about those movies being too long, and you want to add more characters into like the story that actually make the story longer. You know, that's what I don't understand. Like I'm gonna finish up with this. The third Hobbit movie, I hated it. Not really. It just wasn't very good. The first Hobbit movie, and the second Hobbit movie, the first one starts out pretty bad, but then the second half is so good. And then the second movie, the beginning's not very good, but all the way to the end with the dragon and everything, oh, it's so good.
The parts that are good, but it's not good enough to validate
It's
the whole
not good
movie.
enough. It's
And
not-
that
still-
was a
I'm
word
still
from our
upset about it.
sponsors, and back to our originally scheduled program.
Yeah. So
Welcome back to
Yeah,
We're All
so-
in the
Black
Same
Panther.
Boat.
Black Panther, the Hobbit. Bilbo was British, but he was American in the Black Panther movie.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
I could not tell that he was anything.
Yeah, I mean,
else
it-
besides
yeah,
the
it-
person
I
who's
think
also
it's just because I knew he's British. I
Yeah,
already know
yeah,
he's
yeah.
British. It was like, whoa, I don't know how do I register this? You know.
The main villain guy, he was cool too. Andy Serkis. He's also in Lord of the Rings. It's like
Yeah.
they had a
The
very
two-
small casting pool.
The two
But,
Tolkien white guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
was bad.
Let's do this organized a little bit. Okay. So what was your favorite part about the movie,
Oh,
or who was the best in the movie?
oh.
Michael B.
Different
Jordan,
questions.
by far.
Michael B.
was
Jordan.
really good.
Yeah. Everything involving Killmonger was my favorite part of the movie, basically.
See,
Say your opinion. I'm just saying.
no,
he
no.
was by
for it.
far
No,
my
we're-
favorite
You
part
said
of
we're
the
gonna
movie.
keep it organized, so let's just answer the question.
Yeah. So, who was like? What was the best part of the movie? Who was the best character?
I thought the best character, at least my favorite character, I really liked. Well, actually, they go together. I liked the general, and then the
General.
her boyfriend or her whatever.
Which
The
one was
guy
the general?
in charge of. He was in charge of. I forgot what tribe he was in charge of, but he was
Oh, with
The girl who wore the wig
snow,
was a general.
The snow guy.
not the snow guy. No, who
the guy who had the
who was
rhino.
working. Yeah, the guy who wore the rhino at the end. He wore the blue.
He was super good too. He
Yeah,
was,
I liked
he
him.
was-
From Get
him
Out.
and Michael
Yeah.
B. Jordan.
By the way,
Yeah,
was
I
so
liked
good.
him
so I went to the
and then-
bathroom
See,
when they were explaining. I went to the bathroom when they were explaining the rhino things. I didn't see it. I came back. I was like, "What? Oh, there's just random rhinos underground waiting for that horn to go off." What the heck? At the end of the movie,
That's
my
what-
friend was like, "By the way,
yeah.
those rhinos, they were there. It's cool." I was just like, "What?"
Okay, so but Shane, you were saying what was that guy's name? What's his
Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
really
he was
good too.
Yeah, he was good. I
Him
liked him.
and Michael
I've
B.
seen him-
Jordan were my
yeah.
favorite. And,
I've
well,
seen him in
Andy
other
Serkis was
stuff.
super good too.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was very good.
They nailed the villains in this movie, which I think is doesn't happen very often in superhero movies, like the Lizard or something. Just like what? No one cares
Right.
about him. But this one, I thought that Michael
That's what
B.
makes
Jordan's
superhero movies
character
good.
was more interesting than the main character.
Right.
It was really
I
good
think
stuff.
that's what makes superhero movies more interesting and better is when you have a really just a stronger protagonist.
Well, I think it's
than-
always easier
or
to play a villain
antagonist
though, because
than
you
a
can be as
protagonist.
crazy as you want and it's not over the top. But if you're a good guy, you have to like make sure you're not too crazy. Otherwise, you seem
See, I don't
Right.
know. I
Off the-
kind of disagree.
off the rails. That's how it is in movies, though. I'm not saying that's the
Which,
best
Yeah.
way.
which,
It's
which
just,
part
it's just
do you
what happens.
disagree with?
And maybe this is just me expecting too much, but I didn't really care for his character too much. I mean, I did. I
Really?
liked it, and I liked the idea of it. I don't know. That's why I'm saying I just wish. I don't think it was. I don't know if it's the script or just the story. Plus, it just. I don't think served the character really any justice. I don't really feel like he got the deserved time to get ramped up. It was kind of, oh, we're just coming in gun blazing, and I personally don't think his motive was that strong to warrant this aggression of I'm going to barge in here and literally kill the king, overthrow the nation,
Yeah, I thought that was really
and
sudden.
then take over the world. I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
all because your dad died. You know, that
Well,
seemed. I
he-
wish there was
I-
more time.
I
for
Right.
it.
He was
think
mad
that-
for a while, and then he was kind of like,
No,
"Oh, this is my chance."
I understand.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with like in terms of what happened. I just wish there was more time that we could see him, so we could get.
Yeah, I agree
that.
because
Right.
It kinda
I
just
feel
came
like
out
his
of the, like
his-
when he
so
was
his
shooting people, I was
character.
like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, because you have I think that it could have been better, and also the side guy, the other guy that you liked. I think both of them.
Yeah,
It was
wish
kind
there
of like,
more
wait, now
time,
they're
yeah.
evil, and I think that
Yeah.
when I say I like them, I mean I liked their acting and their
Exactly,
portrayal
yeah,
and
that's
like
what I
their
mean.
their
Yeah.
emotion. That was all really good. But I think you're right, where it was kind of like, can we see a little bit more of what makes him go nuts like this?
Well, I think that's the weakest part of the movie, in my opinion, is just the overall. And I know I'm kind of skipping around, but I was just as a general point, the movie itself definitely was better when it was just Killmonger, and he was like more of the focus versus this other side plot
Right.
with Andy
Yeah,
Serkis.
and you know-
Even though he was good, it was just a Marvel-ism that they had to include like this
Yeah,
Marvel
he-
guy from before, and it was just very annoying because the movie would have been better had he had just been out of the movie and it was more focused on like the power struggle and class struggle between Killmonger and Wakanda and T'Challa.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
No, I was gonna say I agree, and I think the thing that, in my experience, that most of these, even action movies in general, but definitely superhero movies, suffer from is that they spend all this build up with story. By the time they get to like the more action, exciting part, it goes so fast, and then it's over, and it's like, wait, that was kind of all we got, and there's not really any real build up because they had all those like the whole scene where they were trying to get the thing that they stole from the museum. That was a long process, all for them not to even get back the thing. Or did they got it back, right? I don't remember. But it was just a very
he kills
long
the guy
sequence.
and he brings the body in.
Yeah, that was just a very long sequence. Okay, we didn't really need all this. Okay, we're lurking around, and we're still lurking, and we're still lurking.
Right.
Okay, there's all this extra stuff that that doesn't really add to the story, where we could have focused more on the Wakanda takeover, not just, okay, we completely overthrown this entire government, now let's take over the world. Like, that was quick.
Honestly, I would have liked to see more like about Wakanda and like their personal struggles. Like, I want him to deal more with like Wakanda.
Oh,
it was way more fun when it was
I
in
disagree.
Wakanda.
I wanted less of Wakanda.
What?
Yeah, because I liked it. I thought it was cool. It was a cool world. But here's what I like. Let me start positive. So, and I'm not going negative. I'm saying why I wanted it to be different. So when Michael B. Jordan was playing his character, I forget what his character's name was.
Yeah.
Killmonger.
Yeah, Killmonger. So like when he was in London and like they were stealing that stuff out of that museum, and then he put that like African mask on, and then they like blew up the wall, and then like that was so awesome, and I loved the style because it was like this. You took the African side of the story, like that kind of style with the mask, but then you kind of put it in the city, and I like that a lot. And then when they went to Wakanda, it was kind of like, okay, I feel like I'm kind of in a Lord of the Ringsy world, and I've seen this
very
before,
fantasy.
And I was like, I kind of like the blending of this future and like, because I've never seen like a future movie with like an African style to it, and I really like that.
You thought it was too stylized?
It was just not. It was like, oh, we're in Avatar world. That's kind of what it felt like.
It wasn't like grounded in like.
And it wasn't.
the
It was.
world as
It
we
was
know
good. All of it was good, but I was kind of like, I kind of want to see all these
kinda wish
people
they
from
spent
Wakanda
more
like in
time
the city and like
outside. Okay.
blending the two worlds together.
Luckily,
Because I don't.
I guess I get that, yeah.
Now that they set up Wakanda, though, they can do more. Where
now they
interacts
can.
with the other
There's
world-
this.
with the rest of the
Yeah,
world.
for future stuff.
And on top of that, I was also every time Killmonger was not on screen, I was like, all right, can we bring him back in here?
Well, then
Yeah,
you had a lot of time where you thought that then because
Yeah, I know, and I was just
and
like,
that's the problem. Yeah.
because I was like, can bring him back. I want him back in here because
Right.
that's the story that's interesting to me.
Yeah, it was. I agree.
So my favorite part was I don't have like one specific part, but it's kind of like spoilers, the ending, because like I like how they set it up. So there are two points of view in the movie, which obviously like parallel with like real life in the world right now. It's like, hey, like Eric
Right.
Killmonger's like, we need to like liberate like all our people who are out there like suffering from like under other people, give them weapons and help them to revolt against their like oppressors, which is like hard not to sympathize with. It's like, yeah, I get that. Like I probably I would want a similar thing. But then you have like the Wakandans like, no, like we can't do that. That's too dangerous. We need to just keep taking care of ourselves. Which is like, yeah, I get that too. Like they're both really strong arguments. But like I liked this at the end. They didn't just like the main character didn't just stay with what he chose. Like he learned from the bad guy and came up with another solution, which was, hey, we'll just share our technology with the world and help everybody. And I was like, that's really dope. Because that's like usually every movie, it's like there's 2 points of view and one usually wins out. But this movie, they had 2 points of view, and the good guy learned from the bad guy and changed his point of view and found a better solution.
Well, yeah, everyone learned from each other, well, except Killmonger.
Yeah, but like I thought that was a really interesting ending. I actually was waiting to see like how they were going to deal with this towards the end of the movie, and what point they were going to make.
Well, it was like Martin Luther King versus like Malcolm X. I felt like Killmonger was more Malcolm X, and
people also
T'Challa
drew
was
parallels
Martin Luther
between
King.
like T'Challa, the Black Panther, and Trump, because it's like America first, Wakanda first. It's like, no, we just need to take care of ourselves before anybody else. It's interesting.
No, there was a lot of Lion King parallels. That's what.
Oh yeah.
Was. But
well, that was there too. Yeah, I saw that a lot. Even the freaking like the psychedelic dreams that they go through. When they
it's like
take
a tree, like
when they take the juice to become the Black Panther. It was like
they even put the little thing on his forehead.
Yeah, it was just like I was like, this is literally just a copycat. I guess Disney can do whatever they want, so it doesn't really matter.
We've all established on this podcast before that Disney does rule the world. So
I
it's
will
true.
say though, I'm just touching on a part that I kind of going back to what I said before about Killmonger. I do like that they did go. I don't know if this happens in the comics, but I do like that they did go with the choice for him like to kill himself, because you know how a lot of times the antagonist will have. I thought it was gonna be some cheesy type of thing where like, you know, Killmonger, you know, stay with us and, you know, get better and then we can rule together. I thought it was gonna be something cheesy and stupid like that, but I like that.
Rule the galaxy.
I like that he stuck with his intention the entire time, and he's like, well, nope, that didn't work, so like screw you, and then like just killed himself. I like that he didn't just had a change of heart and like, you know what, you're right. I didn't waste my entire life believing this one thing. I'm just now magically gonna have a change of heart and we're gonna be best friends. So I like that in terms of his character.
It's definitely different than a lot most of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where it's like everyone eventually kind of gets on the same page.
Yeah, everyone's friends.
It still was another Marvel movie for me, though. That's
I think
criticism of it.
I think overall, right?
It just felt like another Marvel movie.
Yeah, my favorite part was actually most of the action scenes and Coogler-esque like effects. I thought the action was really well done when you could at least see it. Because there was a lot of issues with like lighting, I felt, because they did a lot of like contrast and dark tones, but also like he's in a black suit, so I had a hard time seeing sometimes.
Like, it's really dark. I'm like, yeah.
That's like every action movie for me these days.
Yeah, but the action overall was like really well done, and I thought his suit was really cool. And yeah, again, I viewed it mostly as another even though, like Shayne said, it's definitely not as much of a Marvel movie. It's definitely still overall like a Marvel movie, despite the politics or meaning, context, anything behind it. It's still Marvel, and it's still that universe. So
yeah, I enjoyed just the fact that it was more its own film and not just an Avengers prequel. Because that's what I was kind of thinking. Oh, here we go, probably gonna have like a huge tie into the Avengers, and here comes Captain America and Robert Downey Jr. just gonna come in at the end and be like, hey, Black Panther, the Avengers. And that was great. I kind of like that they kept it in its own. There was
Yeah,
not
they
any
really did like
real
pull
talk of
out
the
of
Avengers.
the
Yeah.
Avengers.
I
Because
wish they did that more.
There was
honestly.
They
no,
didn't mention them.
there
at
was
all.
like no cameos for the most part.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that a lot too. It definitely the same way like the new Star Wars made me feel like I was in a different world almost. This definitely kind of took me out of like the usual like it's just the MCU again and
Mhm.
you need to expect it. I definitely came out of it not expecting what I saw. Like
Mm-hmm.
it surprised me. So props to Coogler and everyone who
So
made the movie.
For everybody to answer this question, was it better or worse than you expected it to be?
Better.
I expected it to be amazing because everyone's like, "It's the best movie ever! Everyone
Yeah,
go see it right now!"
was-
But it was really
Well,
good.
that's why I thought it was gonna be bad. Was
Yeah.
everyone was just
I
exaggerating.
wasn't swept up in the hype at all. But I definitely was like, "Oh, it's
Right.
gonna be good." I liked Black Panther already. I knew who he was, and I was stoked to see him in a movie, and it was good. It wasn't my
I gave
favorite
it like
movie
a-
ever, but it was really good.
I would give it like a 7.5 out of 10, maybe an 8, but I don't know. I don't know if it was that good in my mind. Like for reference, The Avengers is like 8.5. You know.
I
So-
think that this film could be forgettable, if I'm being honest. Like, it's a good movie, but I forget about movies a lot. So, an example would be, like, what's that movie? I can't remember it. Doctor Strange. Like, Doctor Strange was really good. I just forgot, like, the whole movie, though. I don't remember it.
Yeah,
I've
and
never
that's kinda
watched
how
it
I felt.
again.
Yeah.
I've never
Well-
felt like watching it again. It's, like, really good, but I just don't remember it. And like, this movie, it's more memorable than that. But like I said before, it's no Dark Knight.
Yeah.
I feel like I would talk more about the controversy behind it rather than the movie itself, though. And I feel like that's part of the trouble with this movie was the controversy that
Yeah,
surrounded
what is it? What is it with this movie? Like, is it? I mean, I felt like there's a lot going on, and a
It's
lot
mainly-
of undertones, and I didn't really know what.
It was
being-
mainly like at the helm, like I said, was just like it was mainly a political movie. Whether or not that outshined the Marvel isms, it remains to be seen by some, I assume. But in my opinion, it didn't really outshine it. But it was definitely made to be a political movie. It was made to be with an all-black cast, mostly, and try and I guess what we're used to seeing is like all-white casts with like token black people or token minorities, and it was trying to reverse that stereotype.
Mhm.
I mean, I just saw another movie, Game Night, this past week, and it had a token black guy. Like he was the only black guy, like part of the main cast, and then the other black guy was like a criminal. So it was just like I see like where we might see that stereotype, and I know that's just because there's more white people in America than there is black people, so you're just gonna see more of what you see, all around you based on population distributions and things like that. But I do see like how black people like in America or like black children like wouldn't see people of their own race as like heroes and stuff like that.
Right.
And I think that's like still good to like see people of your own race. I don't really care about race personally, and I'm an Hispanic person, so I might have a unique view, but I do think a lot of the race discussion in America is like white and black, and I'm just like sitting here as Hispanic, like.
Can I interject on that comment or that point?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so at least for me, only speaking for myself, I don't really think it was too much about race because I mean, you could have had a movie with all black people. I mean, there's plenty of movies with all black people, and I think this one in particular though was more about it was very like culture based more than race based because you can have a bunch of black people, I don't know what to say without being extremely racist, but doing something that typically another race would specifically do, or in that sort of scenario, and then there would be uproar and stuff. But this one was very like it's very African and inspired,
right. And I thought it
whatnot.
was
think
really
that's
cool.
more what people were more hyped about than the race. At least that's what I can say because I don't really care about an all black cast. I mean, because I always say about the race debate in terms of when it comes to representation. I say as a black person, I don't want to get something just because I'm black. I just want to be represented in terms of what is reality of what black people are actually like, and then also just the same opportunity. So this is like, okay, it's culture based and it's black people. There's cool, but there's still the white people in it are still cool characters. Like I loved both of the characters very much. I thought they definitely added to the story. What's his face? The
let's hold up there because
really
you made a few points and I want to
yeah.
kind of break them apart a little bit before we kind of rabbit trail out of them.
Gotcha.
But
Well,
like,
can I
'cause
ask
know
a question to Shayne?
Sure.
Okay.
Do you think that more black people, specifically black people, go into this movie for the culture aspect or for the fact that it's an all-black cast? Do you think? Because I know there are people that definitely do that, but are they a vocal minority, or do you think that's most black people?
Well, I think it's a mix of both, but I do think it's mostly a culture thing because even when I went to see it in the theater, there were full black families going to the movies, and typically black families don't do things together as like a full unit, and so seeing them all coming dressed up is super cool. So I think it's a culture thing, like, oh, this is the first time, and this type of scale, there's we're gonna see things that we do or people that look like us or things that we can relate to, so let's go as a family. And that's a thing I like the most. That's going to say my overall point though that I really liked about the movie was that, because I watched a bunch of interviews with the actors and stuff before, and they were saying there was this underlying message within the movie that only people in like the black community would understand. And I was watching the movie and I didn't really see it until it got to the end where they were fighting against each other, and I said, oh, the whole point of this is to, in terms of like in real life scenario, to telling black people that we fight against all these things, and against white people and all this stuff, saying we want these things from people and we want them to help us and we want better for ourselves, but yet within our own communities we're fighting against each other instead of coming together and helping each other, which also does branch off into a more universal message for us as an entire society. But in terms of that, I think that's so true, because this is it, and this is a moment in time for people, look what we can do when we do it together. So I kind of like that message in terms of black people being able to see that within themselves on a large screen. So
and you can apply that to other. I mean, you can apply that to other races too. Yes, so I like that also.
It's a universal message.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I definitely saw that. That was really cool. That's why I was saying I appreciated they didn't just like pick a dichotomy and choose a side. It was like, work together.
It's like we're all in this together. Yeah.
So that was overall. Yeah.
I wanted to unpack some of that a little bit.
Yes, go ahead, Luke.
Because I know that because this is sort of a political movie. I feel like I like the movie, and I'm more concerned about people ruining this movie. And here's what I'm saying. So when Wonder Woman came out, like, I loved Wonder Woman. I thought it was so good. I really liked it a lot. I thought that it had a good twist, it had good moments in it, good build-up, good characters. I really liked it. It was like, oh, well, and it happened to be a woman director and female star and about a woman superhero. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, well, it was a good movie. Who cares? Like, she's a good director, I guess. That's great. The problem that I would have is like people taking that and then making me hate the movie by like turning it into this see, men, see, you guys suck, gotta get women. It's like, no, whoever's good, I hope that they do this stuff. So like with this movie, I hope I haven't really looked at the news and I haven't really looked at what people are saying about it.
Wait,
I hope people aren't ruining it, because it's like, oh, it's an all black cast and it's a black director and all that stuff, and they did a great job. So let's make more movies that do that, right? But I
think the reviewers ruined this movie.
Are people honestly turning it into a statement and like
yes? And it's just, I'm not saying like I don't really care about the people on Twitter.
Let me clarify one thing really quick. So I don't think it's going to ruin the movie.
No,
but it's going to leave like a bad taste of like, oh my god, it's hard to watch this without thinking about all these people just turning it into this statement as opposed to letting it just be a good movie.
Yeah.
That's it. Is that happening? Basically, is what I'm getting at.
Well, I have a question on that, because I don't understand. I'll just ask the question. So how does that affect how you view a movie? If you know that is the case, then why would you even go look at what someone else is going to say?
Well, first of all, I didn't.
Well, I don't think Luke knows. That's the thing.
First of all, I didn't look because I just wanted to watch the movie as a movie.
Yeah.
Because I'll put it in another example. And I'll do it from a kind of a controversial angle from another perspective. So the movie The Passion of the Christ. A lot of people really like that movie. Is it really a good movie? It's kind of just about a guy who gets killed.
Why does that matter?
No, hold up. Just hear me out. So it's about a guy who gets killed, but it kind of gets blown up as this amazing movie because of the context behind the movie. Oh, it's a Christian story, and it tells the Christian viewpoint, and it's really moving. A lot of people got saved. So it's got this backstory. It's but the movie itself is just like a glorified execution movie. That's really what it is, unless you know the backstory. So with this movie, it's a good movie on its own, but the backstory where people are taking the movie and I don't know. I know that.
I think the answer to your question is that everyone is not a film critic, and some people just look at things for whatever they want to get out of it, and that's what they kind of see it as. Because I do know what you're saying. Some people can't separate film from moment, which is why I was saying I want to see it outside of the hype, because I don't know if I'm enjoying this because I think it's good or because I'm hyped up in the moment. This is the moment in history and this means so much. That's
fist in the air, right?
Yeah. But so I do kind of see what you're saying,
Nick. And you've done some research on some of the backstory behind the movie, because we've all seen the movie, but you know more
I don't really care.
about.
My opinion doesn't. No one else's.
Well, Shayne, I think
it's more. It's
less
ruining,
about your opinion changing.
It's It's like overtelling a joke and ruining a joke. That's
it's just noticing
I know, but I'm
flaws.
saying for me, the movie wouldn't be ruined. I don't. Things don't get ruined for me.
Yeah, no, that's good. I just want to view the movie as objectively as possible as a movie, regardless of the context. And then so, like you said, with Passion of the Christ, Luke, that's a good example. This movie definitely was politically influenced in what we saw on Rotten Tomatoes mostly, and that's like what Shayne was saying. I don't mind those people that can't differ from being an actual movie critic versus seeing this as only a political film. That's fine. I'm more concerned with the 332 people that rated this movie, the greatest. Well, not 332 people, but there's it's odd how many people said that this is the biggest moment in black history. I was kind of shocked by that.
Which
just
you're
because
setting your standards low if you would think that.
It's just why this movie, and then so I think what Shayne was saying, it's more about culture and stuff like that.
It's the moment.
And I think in this moment we're a heavy politicized country, and I think it's weird, this obsession with race that seems to be getting brought up again, that seems to have resurfaced into the spotlight, I guess, versus in the shadows. And so I think it definitely affected how objective people were in viewing this movie. It doesn't deserve what it got in Rotten Tomatoes, and that is kind of concerning as someone who likes objective criticism of movies and wants to and appreciates movies. That does worry me for other movies that I've seen that I might have been affected, in that same way.
Right.
Coming
you're
back to this fresh,
it's skewing the honesty of people reviewing movies.
Yeah, and now especially for the future, I can't tell if there's because
now everyone's gonna reach for that fruit now, because it's if I make a movie that touches on these subjects, then I'm gonna make get praise
$500 million at the box office.
What if Black Panther was not?
It's amazing.
See, we're lucky because Black Panther was a good movie. What if it wasn't? And then what if it was people were kind of using it as a cash grab, being if we do these sorts of things, we're gonna make this money, and so people make these bad movies, but they get reviewed really high. You know what I mean?
Worldwide,
it
made $700 million. Oh, it's over $700 million, by the way.
In terms of Black Panther, if it was a bad movie, black people would let you know it was a bad movie. So they wouldn't have
I like
to really,
that.
They wouldn't really have to worry about using that one as a cash grab. They're like, no.
One thing I think
They
too,
be
though,
honest, right?
We don't
Yeah.
like it.
There's something to be said though about like being aware enough to see a moment and like capitalize on it. Like even on the podcast, we're like, hey, this thing just happened. Let's talk about it.
Exactly.
Maybe like it's not objectively a good podcast, but it's still a best time to do it. Like comedians do it all the time. They joke about what just happened, or like things that people are thinking about now because it means more at the time. Like it doesn't mean that the joke sucks aside from it, but the joke just lives in that moment. So that doesn't like discredit the movie. It definitely can add or take away from the hype. But that's something that like is a skill and is like strategic, is like when and how you respond to current events.
Ticket sales.
Yep.
It's true. And it did. My gosh.
And
This
it
is
sure
good.
did.
But that's something
Like,
too.
sure
Like
did.
ticket sales
We're
never
We're
gonna
going to
see
see a
no,
lot
people-
more of these movies. We're going to see a lot more of these movies, I think. I think this has
so
set like the bar for like
let's think about this
political
for a second.
minority movies.
Is it?
No, where's the all Mexican film?
Is
Let's
this
go.
movie
Yeah.
actually?
Why they got to be
breaking-
Mexican?
Is this movie? Is this
could be
movie
Asian,
actually?
Miles Morales, come on.
Is this movie actually breaking records? Because hear me out. A
Oh,
lot
inflation?
of times, anytime a movie comes out, they will find some record that
The
it
number one
technically
movie in
breaks.
America.
They're like
Well-
the number one movie that came out on a Monday
2
on the
records.
first week in February, and it's like it's smashing records, and it's like well,
Every movie is the number one
Well,
movie
if you're
in
gonna
America.
do that, yeah, but
2
in the grand scheme of
records
records,
that are
what is it
factual.
actually
2
done?
records.
It has the loudest snare drum of any movie soundtrack of all time.
It has
Probably
number five opening weekend, number 1 opening weekend in February. So
Yes, the number 1 opening weekend of February of all time, and it's
February doesn't count, but number 5 of all
How
time
does
is pretty-
February not count?
because February is when a lot of bad movies come out, so they're usually not big movies.
Yes, I know.
It's true.
Anyway. No, okay. I see
January,
what,
January
Okay.
and February generally are when
I see what you're saying,
garbage movies come out.
but you can't say it doesn't count. It's just not as
No, it doesn't-
high-
no, it doesn't
it's just not
impress
as
me is what I
high.
mean.
Yes, that's what I know.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
and then it's the
But it counts.
highest grossing opening film of a predominantly or led black cast.
that doesn't surprise me at all. No offense.
No,
I'm just
it
saying.
doesn't. Well, obviously, no, and that's you said it.
What was it? Number 5
It doesn't
opening of all time,
surprise
or weekend of all time?
Hmm?
You said number 5 weekend of all time.
Yeah, of all time. But
That
the-
one,
weekend.
that one I would count as good. That one's
Granted, that's going. Okay, so that's going. With like money,
that worldwide
like total
or-
gross. Yeah, it's like world or domestic, I think.
Okay.
But that's just like money wise. So you do have to count for like movies like Star Wars from like the 70s, where money was a lot. The dollar was a lot
Yeah, it was
less.
different.
So
Yeah.
so you
Right.
you do have to adjust for inflation in that. So I would go by ticket sales more so, but I'm sure it's still up there. It's still
Right.
a big deal as far as Marvel movies and movies in general go with box office sales. This
Right.
is
Which
this has set a precedent.
I knew it was doing really well. I was trying to see, like, basically you get clickbait articles right and left that are trying to blow things out of proportion to get clicks. And so I was like, well, what records is it setting? And it sounds like the opening weekend is pretty substantial. It means a lot of people saw it right away. I'd be curious to see, like, in the long run, like once it finishes its run, where it's going to land in terms
Yeah.
of domestic and international. I don't know that it will make a
How
lot
much steam will it
internationally.
have?
Like things like, what's that movie called? Like World of Warcraft made so much money internationally, and then Avatar too. Like these
Right.
movies that are really
That's
big in
because
like
all
China.
Those people play World of Warcraft overseas.
Yeah, well, like it's huge in China, and so China's
Yeah.
got a billion more people than we do, so it makes a ton of money over there. And so, I don't know if this movie will do as well internationally, but I'd be curious to see how it does domestically.
Right.
If I'm projecting.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Also, one thing I think always
this
think
is
is
the-
funny is like they're always like,
Go
"Oh,
ahead.
this movie made the most money on opening weekend." Like that never means it's a good movie. That just means it had a good trailer. Like no one knows that it's good yet. Let's all go
It's
see it.
Not even a good trailer. It just has a lot of hype.
I know, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
it did have a lot of hype.
every
yeah.
movie that like they always say like it's the highest grossing movie in America because it's the best. I'm like, no, it's just because
Yeah,
people.
or it's the only movie that came out
Yeah,
that weekend.
people just wanted
What
to
do you
find
want
out if
from
it was good or
us?
bad or not. Doesn't mean it's good.
Mm-hmm.
This is the number 5
But
Marvel movie.
That's how you market, and that's
of
how
all
you
time.
get into people's heads. What?
Yeah,
Number one movie.
To
Oh, I
put this
gotta go
into
see it.
perspective,
I'm a
number
Neanderthal.
number 11 for opening weekends is Batman versus Superman. So
Oh,
the
gosh.
bar is not exactly high.
Yikes.
It just depends on how do you hype people up and get them to
That's
see a movie.
true.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
all
it
marketing.
doesn't-
So,
it's
not
not a testament to how
discrediting
good
the movie, but
is,
that's
right?
why I'm like well, let's. I still think it's gonna make a ton of money though.
There are
And
many
it
things
will
that go
probably
into
But
be-
Hollywood sees green, man. They are in for Black Panther 2, 3, and 4 now. Sorry.
And probably Batman versus Superman too. You know,
Oh gosh.
Yeah, no.
I think we're done with that.
movie.
So,
Yeah,
what was our
'cause
least
they-
favorite
Martha's
part
been
of the
through enough.
movie? By the
least
way,
favorite part of the movie.
well, I didn't know if we kind of already covered it, but if anyone wants to
Oh.
go back and
Probably
talk
the
about
what
it,
are
I know,
those
I
joke.
know. I know what mine is.
Oh,
It's
so
first of all,
yeah, the
it was
humor. I think the humor fell just really
a
flat.
lot of the CGI was kind of rough. It was always like it wasn't all bad, but there's a lot of moments where you'd have like that CGI where they got like a body flying into the air, and it's like it's all warped. It doesn't look like it looks so fake for some reason. Like the body like moves in these weird ways, and I get that pulls me out. That's like the technical side. But my least favorite part, the part I hated the most, the whole movie, was when she said, "What are those?" I literally was gonna die. I wanted to just sink into my chair and melt. I was like, no, this is
Yeah.
like, it's like, is this the emoji movie? Like, this is
Cringy.
hurting
I know what you
me. I mean, I get that it's like, oh, her character, but it's like, yeah, but dude, oh, it's like,
No, I
some
know-
old guy's like, let's make her make a Vine
No,
joke.
I know what
That's
you're saying.
what the kids like,
I know
and
what
they
you're
probably do, but it's.
I like that voice,
killing me.
Luke. I really like that voice. You should
That's
do
the
that more
way they-
often.
Yeah,
Probably the way
Luke,
they
I know
sound.
what you're saying because this with the sneaker joke, it's okay, that's funny, but the what are those? That's such a 2017.
It's such a hack
Thing.
joke.
That's like 2015,
Yeah, it's such a like
2014.
if you watch
Yeah,
that
it's pretty
movie,
bad.
if you watch the movie in 5 years, you're like, wait, what? What is that? Was that supposed to be funny? Like, what is that?
It's
even mean?
it's a
Well,
it's a
I know what you
gimmicky,
mean. Yeah.
hacky joke.
It's for them,
And
like Shane said.
hurt me.
It's the moment, dude. It's all
just
about
for
the
memes.
moment.
For the
Yeah.
memes.
For
To
the
be fair, they
memes.
started writing movies so early, so far in advance anyway. It probably was popular when they first started writing the movie.
That's
that
true.
came out
Yeah,
like
too.
3 years ago.
Yeesh.
That was so long ago.
Yeah, I don't
It
know.
was so popular last year, though. It
Last
was at its
year?
peak
No way.
popularity, yeah. Yes.
Like with kids.
Yes.
Oh.
That's what matters.
I guess. I haven't heard it in like.
It would have been
Two
like
years
if
at
she
least.
was like,
Culture.
hey, do it like dab. Be like, no.
Yeah, Dab would have been stupid.
The dad would have been worse. The dad would
Yeah.
have been worse. People
I
would have
agree.
been up in flames about, really? You made that black girl dab? What kind of racist bullshit?
That's about
That's
right.
what would have happened.
All right, so you guys heard my least favorite part. Michael, what you said the same thing or something else?
Yeah, everything else is pretty good. I actually liked.
What,
I don't think you have any
Nick,
other least favorite part.
what about you?
So as far as like the movie itself, I guess I can break it up in like 3 ways. Like as a film, as a Marvel movie, and as a political film. My least favorite part in all 3, probably like mostly the humor, and I didn't like the fact that they spent so much time with Andy Serkis. I just like he was
Even though
fine.
his character
Yeah, I
was good.
felt
I
it
just
lasted
wanted
a
more
little too long.
Killmonger. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanted more Killmonger in general. Like I said, he was like the best part of the movie for me. So, and the action. So I don't know. And then I think a part of that was also because he was also like a Marvel character. So that's a
Well, also,
can
like all the
combine
Marvel
those two.
movies are one series, so they have to keep the story going even within like the Black
Yeah,
Panther
it has
movie.
to be consistent.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think like as far as like politics go, I think they could have. I think Shane kind of touched on it. Like I think I wasn't really believing Killmonger by the end when he wanted to like enslave white people. Like I was just like, okay, Hitler, like calm down.
I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
I was just
that
like, yeah,
escalated very
he
quickly.
got. Yeah, he like got like crazy all of a sudden, and you're just like, oh, he's just another crazy guy, and it's just like, wait, but he had a few good points there, like before he went all crazy.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
actually said some cool stuff. So I was just like,
It would have been interesting to have his
And I
character
think-
like go just far enough that it's like, yeah, I feel like that makes sense, but
Right.
he's just a little psycho. But when
Yeah,
he gets to
he
that
was-
point, you're
yeah.
you're right. It's like,
But wait a minute.
hold on.
Can we
Let's back
talk
up
about
here.
though? Can we talk about though for a second how the fact that he walked in there, overthrew the king, and then the very next day dictated like a world domination plan? It's like,
Yeah,
what
just right
kind
away.
of government?
There's no waiting
Falls
period.
Yeah,
at
not very organized.
What kind
yeah.
of government falls that quickly.
Yeah, wait. Wakanda kind of sucks
Well,
in
they
that way.
didn't-
Can we
they
just
didn't
Yeah, no,
fall.
it was so,
That's-
I didn't
it was
think.
pretty
I didn't think
primitive.
that. I was
But
like,
I
I was
mean,
like, democracy is pretty
what
cool
I mean
when
is,
you
like,
look at
okay,
this.
That's how monarchy works.
Like, February 26th, you're like, yes, peaceful, we're secret, Wakanda is just ours for ourselves. February 27th, all right, let's blow up the world. Like, whoa.
The ships are like
Okay.
taking off. Like, oh, whoa.
I think that's another
Let me
point they were
sit down
making
and
is
talk
like
about the logistics.
I think that's another point they were making
had
is like
no
kind of like
strategy.
throwing shade at monarchy. Like that's what monarchy is. Like the
Yeah,
Wakanda
I
didn't
think
fall.
so.
Wakanda was actually still normal. That's just how it works. That's why it's like, well,
Yeah.
dang it, we kind of screwed ourselves over being stuck in these old ways. We need to move forward and change the way we do things.
Mm-hmm.
One thing,
Yeah, and I think that was good that they like did that for the Wakanda because like Wakanda as a government just kind of was very primitive and very like old school. I guess I didn't like that also. And then like I don't know. I'm just really glad that it was just like, oh, good, they're like adapting and evolving, like and progressing, and not remaining like a black ethno state, which is like the wrong thing to do. So, I guess that's more of like a mix of a good and bad. Is like I'm glad Martin Luther King won overall, and that's like the overall message was saying like is more important. So,
Shayne, what did you not like
When
about the film? We didn't get to you on that one.
I'll answer.
Oh, yeah,
that,
I'm done.
but-
Also, by the way, guys, I just so you say so I say it. I have a notebook like in front of me, so when something rabbit trails, I kind of am trying to like, oh yeah, I wanted to say this, and I'll write it down. So, you know, it helps me out. So just like consider it if you're having trouble remembering things you want to say. So
is
anyway.
that advice for me, Luke?
Yeah, Nick.
Thanks,
get off-
Luke.
Get off
That
the
was random.
podcast.
But okay, so
It's because we're
before I
jumping
answer-
around, and I'm trying to go back to what.
Oh my gosh, let Shayne talk, Luke.
Before I answer the question, before I lose my train of thought,
Write it down.
no, see, now I actually just forget. Oh my god.
That was irrelevant.
What were you gonna say, Shayne? Go ahead.
I can't.
I
hate Luke so much.
Should-
I hate
shoulda-
Luke so much.
Least
Okay.
favorite thing.
Should have written it down.
Least favorite thing.
Okay, my least favorite thing. Well, I kind of already said it was just how they did Killmonger's character. I wish he just had more of a character arc, and I wish they would have not necessarily focused more on him, but just given him more time to really develop. That was kind of my least favorite part.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree with that too.
yeah. I'm with that for sure.
Because I know that like the secondary character, the guy from Get Out, it was kind of like he kind of flipped.
Yes, okay,
like, just
that's where I see
really
it from.
quickly
Yeah.
too. You know.
Which,
Yeah,
by the
it's
way,
like-
why didn't they just tell
Well,
him?
he didn't really flip that. He didn't really flip that quickly because he was kind of always on the edge. Because when he made the comment about, oh, you know, when your dad was king, he did nothing. And
Well-
now when you're king, I thought it would be.
Well,
different.
I
Yeah,
even
there
thought
was a
then
hint.
he
There
was
was
kind
a
of
hint, and I
overreacting.
saw it, so.
Yeah, because
He's like, oh man, you
I
tried
was-
something,
I
but
was
you didn't
saying-
do it. You
Yeah,
suck.
he was
I was
overreacting.
saying
That
to
was the
somebody-
first time, dude.
I was saying to somebody like, wouldn't it be interesting if you got this character and you see the conflict that he's going through with the original king? Like maybe the original king keeps putting him down, like making fun of him a little bit or something and teasing him, and he doesn't like it and it bothers him. And so then he's like, oh, the old king's gone. Now we got the new king. Okay, things are going to be different. Things are going to start turning around. Things are going to get a lot better. And then like maybe he catches Black Panther. What's his name? What's his regular name?
T'Challa.
Yeah.
T'Challa.
He catches him like at a bad time when he's like irritated or angry or something's going wrong, and he snaps back at the guy, and then there's like this moment where you see he's like, oh, okay, nothing's changed. He's gonna be exactly like his dad. You know, something like that to give him more of this emotional connection to where he flips out. I still thought it was fine, but
don't know.
I would have liked to see
I thought
more.
there didn't make much sense because it's not like he didn't do it. He was like, hey, I tried to go get him, but I didn't do it. I failed. He's like,
Yeah, he failed.
just
It
like
wasn't
your
like he
dad.
was like, oh, I
Yeah.
let him go.
his dad.
If he let
like,
him
his
go,
dad didn't go get him, but this guy is like, oh, I tried, but like I couldn't get it. There was other things blowing up that distracted me. I had to save these other people. So I thought that was kind of like a lame turning point for that character. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hate getting into plot holes with Marvel movies because it's a Marvel movie, and I'm just like, ignore the plot holes, idiot. So
Yeah,
Like,
you have
just
to know
like-
what you're going for.
yeah, and that's why again, this movie is like overhyped way too much, and I can't give this like more than a 7. Like I can't give it an 8. Like there's no way I can go that
You know
high
what
with the
movie's
movie.
overhyped? Avengers.
First
Ooh,
No, the next one, Infinity Wars.
Oh.
Oh yeah, and I think that one's gonna be fine. I'm thinking I'm gonna be sick of it by the time it comes out. So
I'm kind of sick of Marvel movies in general.
Yeah, I hit a wall. I hit a wall pretty hard after the second Avengers. I was just like, oh wow.
Yeah,
and then Civil War came out. I was just like, okay.
Civil War was solid.
It was, and that's the thing. It was so good, but I was just like,
you're right. Yeah, it's like Marvel.
movie.
I'm kind of over Marvel, right?
Yeah,
So
they
it's
hit
like
a point where they were kind of just throwing them out. Like, wow, we have so many.
Yeah, and they can do that, and they're gonna keep making more money because they can do whatever they want. So
because we'll still go.
It's Disney, so you know, I can't. I'm not. Maybe it's because I'm not a racial guy. Like I just don't care about that stuff. I can't.
You're non-racial.
I can't think of this movie. I can't think of this movie other than just like another Marvel movie. So,
right.
Analyzing some of the plot holes in this is just useless to me.
Yeah.
And it has tons. It's not like it's a perfect movie. So anyway.
Yeah.
Ahead,
Actually,
I was gonna say I did like very much the music in the movie. I really
me too.
I was taken to places when some of those scenes. So yeah.
That's something I liked about the movie. It was very
fun.
like I like movies that are stylized. They had a style the whole way through.
Like I felt like I was there when those very quiet scenes when it was just music and they had different scenes flashing and stuff.
Did any of you guys see Creed, Ryan Coogler's other movie?
Yeah, that movie was really good.
No,
yeah, if you're a fan of Rocky, you love that movie. But even if you're not a fan, you'd like that movie just because it's quite spectacular. I'm a really huge fan of that. So
it's like pretty.
They're coming out with a new one.
Unbelievably spectacular.
Like Coogler is definitely he has a really unique style. Especially he does a lot of long takes and cinematography tricks.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's like a video he did on Variety on the Variety YouTube channel where he goes over like 12 minutes on one action scene. And he like delves into all the details of it. It's a pretty incredible movie. Film.
Speaking of like that,
video,
his long takes. I think the best shot in the movie. I have to watch it again, but I think my favorite shot was Killmonger walking towards the throne with the camera upside down, spinning.
That was so cool. That was so cool.
I like that shot a lot. It was just so cool, like with the music and like the camera's like upside down and it slowly rotates all the way around.
So like now everything's upside down.
That was a cool shot.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just even just as this like a technically cool shot, like I like that shot.
It was
a
really
lot.
cool. That's one thing I've noticed.
Scene, go
ahead. Okay, I'll go. I've noticed a lot of criticism. Like I watched like some YouTube videos about movies and stuff. Like a lot of criticism on Marvel for like the lack of originality in music and like even like color grading. Like they're kind of forgettable like production wise. So I really liked how this movie had like
kind of true.
This movie had really cool like
recycled.
Yeah, but like you said, this movie had really cool style like in the cinematography even, and the music was cool. It was like memorable music. Like most Marvel music. I don't remember any music from any other Marvel movie except for like when they play AC/DC every once in a while.
Yeah, Kendrick Lamar, and I think Kendrick Lamar and Ryan Coogler actually sat down and like talked about kind of like the messages behind the songs and the direction they were headed for, and I think they were a good pair. So, but yeah, the music and style and cinematography in this movie was definitely for me what set it apart as a Marvel movie. That those aspects set it apart for me.
So the cinematography was okay. I don't think it was anything special. I just like that shot and like
what?
I didn't think the cinematography.
Yeah, it wasn't amazing all the way through, but it was better than other Marvel movies.
I thought it was very normal. Marvel
it had a style. I don't know. I feel like it had a
style.
You
gotta watch it again,
cool.
Luke.
The coloring was cool.
I didn't think it was like I think about movies that have good cinematography, and this didn't even come close.
Well, you're wrong. I mean, it's okay to be wrong.
Well, I mean, I think
it's like a very forgiving way of saying you're completely wrong. Like, it's okay. Hey, Luke, it's okay to be wrong.
Right. Watch the kid. Watch
when
the.
It comes to cinematography,
go
though,
ahead.
I don't know. I feel like and I don't know if people will agree with me, but I don't care. After I saw Interstellar, my opinions on cinematography changed, and I got higher standards. And so now, to me, if you're not Interstellar, I don't think you're that good.
I mean, like
I think about things like
I know that's I'm like
example?
I've seen the best where
I'm not
compete. No, just kidding.
I'm putting it in the realm of like Marvel movies.
Yeah, I know
this
what
was
you're
one of the
joke.
I got you.
I don't
really
compare it really. I mean, I'm trying to think of them. All the Marvel movies don't have very interesting cinematography to me. So like this one.
I think this one had the most interesting though. That's my point.
I'd have to see it again.
Go watch the casino scene again.
I remember what I wanted to say.
It was cool. Like that, like the single shot, like wide shots was kind of cool. But okay, go ahead, Shayne.
Okay, so I wanted to say that my actual kind of favorite part of the movie, well, not my favorite part of the movie, but my favorite part of the moment, I'll say. So I've gotten from many people on multiple occasions since this movie's been being promoted that I look like Killmonger. And
Shameless
so,
plug.
Killmonger played by Michael B. Jordan. And so when people were saying, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's cool and whatnot. But what makes it really cool is that when Michael B. Jordan was cast in the Fantastic Four, which unfortunately did terrible
It sucked.
and was bad, but whatever.
It deserved everything it got.
So he was cast as the Human Torch, and people made this big deal about like, oh, why is he black? La 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 la, and all this stuff. And so I said, well, I mean, I don't really see the big deal about him being black if he's just playing a character. And I think we're so far past the point where it's like, okay, this person has to be a specific race and all this stuff. And then people were saying all this stuff about, that's when a huge talks about representation and stuff were happening. And people were saying that black people couldn't be superheroes. And I was like, well, it's always been one of my dreams to be a superhero and play one in a movie. So when Michael B. Jordan got that role, I was like, oh, that's so cool. That's awesome. Like, that's like a step closer where I can actually do that. And now that there is like a whole movie that's a black based superhero movie, and there's like the Black Panther, as like a child me, like the kid in me, is like, that's cool for me.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That. Great. I want to be a superhero.
Oh yeah.
Now that opportunity is like actually there is like really cool. So that's actually my favorite part of the whole moment.
Now we just need a Static Shock movie.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
That's the next step.
Coming.
Really?
Dude, I love
I've heard
Static
that. I've
Shock.
heard that like there's no way. There's like some weird like copyright stuff that keeps it from being able to be
Oh,
made
is it?
again.
I don't know.
If it comes, that'd be
sense.
awesome. I used to watch that every Saturday.
Yeah, me too.
I saw. Maybe what I saw was fake then. 'Cause I saw a poster. for
Yo,
it, but
that's happening. That's
maybe
awesome.
it was fake.
Anyway, yeah.
Never know.
Same with
overall, I think we all like the movie, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We liked it for
I-
different
I-
reasons, though.
I
which is
out of-
pretty
enjoyed
cool.
it. I don't want to say
Out
I
of-
liked
out
it.
of
I
10.
want to see it again.
Out of 10, 7.
7.
Maybe an 8.
I think I gave it a 7.5 earlier, but I'm changing it to a 7.
Yeah, I gave it an 8 earlier. I'm probably gonna just off of first view. I enjoyed it. I will give it an 8. But
Yeah. I dug it.
I can't say if I like it yet.
It wasn't the best movie ever, but it was a really good movie.
I
thought.
enjoyed it.
I was happy the whole time.
I was.
Mike, what was your
satisfied.
number?
8.
8. Okay. Cool. What for reference? What did you guys give like the Avengers?
So the first Avengers was in my top 3. It's in my top 3 favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Mine's definitely it's definitely up there for me too.
not because it's necessarily the best movie ever, but at that time it was the best superhero movie, and it was like the first one like that. So there's lots of reasons
Well,
why I liked it.
I think it was also
Well-
part of a moment too.
Yeah.
And
It was. Yeah.
so I think it was hyped, and I think it definitely met a lot of expectations for a lot of people for what they wanted. So I was very hyped by that movie.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see it.
Mm-hmm.
But cool.
Okay.
What about you, Luke? Do you still think?
Would-
You said 7, right?
Yeah. I think it'd be about a 7 or so. Like it's a solid movie. I think it like a C movie. You know, it's not in a okay. Hold up. Not C like it's worse than a B movie. But like if I was giving it a grade, it's like it's good. It's regular,
average.
normal, good movie.
Right.
There wasn't anything about it that was like made it especially good to me, but everything about it was solid.
Yeah, it was a quality movie.
So, okay. I'm ready to wrap up this podcast unless anyone has anything else they want to add to this conversation before we wrap up.
I think I'm good.
Yeah,
I
am.
also want to
I'm
say
good.
I do like the part when they were doing the car chase scene and the car blew up, and then that one girl did some ninja flips and survived, and then Lupita's character like slid.
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
chair.
That was
I really
That was
liked
funny.
that. That probably made me laugh the most during the movie.
I need to watch it again. I forgot a lot of scenes.
Lupita Nyong'o, she was amazing in this movie. She also, I think
She's
she put on
always
like
great.
she put on like 10 pounds of muscle. She looked good. I was like, wow, she is very attractive.
Was she the general girl or the other girl?
She was
The
like the
other
love
girl.
interest. Yeah,
Yeah,
the other
yeah.
girl.
Okay. Yeah.
Which, by the way, the romance scenes suck too. That was dumb.
Yeah,
Romance is
I
always lame in
agree.
superhero movies.
They could have.
Yeah, it really
scrapped
was.
that part of the story. They didn't. We didn't
Yeah,
get
that too. Yeah,
That
I did not
was-
care.
Maybe they're gonna
They
set
didn't
it up
even
for something
play-
later. I don't know.
Possibly.
They didn't
Yeah,
even
they
play it up, and really, if the scene wasn't specifically about that, I couldn't tell you that there was any connection or any.
Yeah, the romance was kind of weird. It wasn't like
I was like, okay.
there was like no real chemistry. It was just kind of like
All right, so that
Yeah.
this is what proves it. In the end of the podcast, it always ends on an unhappy romance. Boom. Okay, let's.
That's
I
kinda
gotta wrap this up,
sad.
guys. We gotta finish this up.
It's
So,
our aesthetic at this
plugs.
point.
Shayne, do you have any plugs?
Check out the Pop Talk podcast at Pop Talk Podcast at SoundCloud on SoundCloud. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Talkin' Pop. That's talking without the G, pop. And then my Twitter, where you can follow me, is Mr. McCatty, MrMCCATTY. And I'm starting this new thing. I'm going to be making playlists, and I'm going to be making playlists for like a bunch of different things. And right now I only have Apple Music, and I know a lot of people are a little funny about Apple Music, but I'll get Spotify eventually too. So I'm going to be doing that, and hopefully I can eventually turn that into curating playlist for people or events, and I can get paid for that. So
that'd be cool.
I'll be posting that things on my Twitter and also my Facebook and stuff and whatnot. So check that out. Sweet.
Oh yeah.
Woo. Awesome. Okay, Michael.
Just follow me on Instagram, Michael Demas, MyKolDimas. I have some stuff I'm working on that I've already talked about. YouTube stuff, music stuff. Just go there and I'll tell you everything that I'm doing there.
Boom.
Oh yeah.
Nick, what about you? Any plugs?
I love drumming without the G, so I love drumming with at the G on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Don't follow me on Twitter. It's a waste of time.
Yeah, Twitter's lame.
Again, yeah, Twitter sucks. Do not follow me on Twitter. That I repeat.
No, a mob of people are just gonna follow you on Twitter. And
I know. Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna-
keep
I'm gonna make
saying
Twitter
that.
right
Follow
now
me on
just to follow
YouTube,
you.
please. Follow me on YouTube, please. I actually care about YouTube.
That's
And
right.
I did a Kendrick Lamar cover for All the Stars, but it got taken down, so you have to watch that on Facebook. So follow me on Facebook.
Lame. Taken down by the
Yeah.
man.
YouTube, yeah.
So,
Alright.
like, the video had 300 views before they took it
What?
down, and that was my second highest video, and they just took it down as soon as I hit 300. So.
YouTube.
You know what? Oh, they postpone.
Yes. Okay. Because we got to wrap this up. So, yeah, you can follow me on YouTube at Luke Roxwold Vlogs. You can follow me on Twitter at Luke Roxwold. Follow me on Instagram at Luke Roxwold, and you can be looking forward to our film. It's coming soon. We are making progress. We're just trying to figure out film festivals, which is kind of holding me up, but we're really close. I know I've been saying that for a while, but it's coming, and it's really looking good. We're almost there. Also, you can tweet at us at WAITSB Podcast. Please do that. That'd be awesome. Thanks, everyone, for listening. We're going to wrap this episode up. Please listen to our other episodes to support
the
us.
outro-
Leave a review. What?
Do we have outro music? Oh.
You say make it work. So I'll yell outro music and it'll start. You ready? Outro music!